Okay, hello everyone, this is Werekingdom. This is going to be a recorded game of the semifinals, Werekingdom. So I against Buzzsaw. I'm playing the Warlord in the upper left-hand corner against his Buzzsaw's Druid. This is a very, I want to say different game. My Warlord deck is kind of the generic Barrack, Forge, Garrison Post, Ring, and then get a lot of guys. Buzzsaw has a very unique deck on this one. Not something I would have saw earlier. First, Vanilla. At first I was thinking he was going to do a Curse Vanilla, use her mainly as curses. Then I got to see the life tree. Now, I know that that might have been just because the cost difference. I mean, it's the only tree you can get turn 1 with Vanilla. But I could also see that as a possible bee or insect deck. Now, we can't use those cards because those are Elementalist and Druid cards that the new expansions were not allowed in this competition. But if you take those cards in, this deck could have been really, really good. Anyways, yeah, so sidetracked. We'll go on from there. This is the part that I was very surprised about. Moonglow Fairy. What the... I mean... Moonglow Fairy. 5 life, 2 attack, it has defend, it has flying, but it is a pest. So you can't guard with it. Saying that, Druid, I mean, Druid has a lot of healing, so I guess you can kind of mitigate the need for guarding if your Mage can just heal any damage. But it's a very expensive creature that I've not really seen much use. I mean, I haven't seen many players use the Moonglow Fairy. It is interesting, I will say that. And it is really hard to get rid of. Especially if you don't have any Fire Blast, because of the evade and the flying. Those two together, I mean, you can't use Surging Wave. A lot of the other attack spells that can target flying creatures will not work, are not unavoidable. So, interesting creature. Anyways, played Gear Up. This is kind of my... This is my excuse for not taking a Battle Forge. I'll just play Gear Up near turn 3 or 2. 3. And, you know, it works fine. Nothing great, but yeah, it's a good way of getting all the pieces of armor you want in the beginning. Expensive, but it's a decent way of taking care of the armor. Okay, so... moved forward, and I was kind of going back on far from that because I was thinking that the Florella was still a curse Florella, which would, you know, put Mage, Bane, Poison Blood, all Ghoul Rot, but instead Florella seems to be mainly used for buffing the fairies, which I can see that. Kind of thinking that that might have been a waste. Having curses from Falala could be very strong. Okay, anyways. Elven Soldier. Good card. So, with the +2 life, it can be very good. It has piercing, not that it will actually affect anything right now. I have the Dispel Wand and the Regrowth. I was thinking of possibly dispelling the Bear Strength, which I was assured, or I'm assuming, would be on the fairy. But with the Wardstone going down, that kind of ruined my plan. Here I was thinking, yeah, do I actually want to pay 2 more to dispel a Bear Strength, which Buzzsaw probably has a decent amount of. Maybe yes, maybe no. And there's also the fact that I have a Dispel Wand, and I only have a few regular dispels. So if it's not a curse or poison enchantment, and he takes away or dissolves my dispel wand, I might be up a creek without a paddle. So that's the idea. I was kind of looking forward to this attack. Well, I shouldn't say looking forward. I was thinking that because of the +2 life, the archer would be able to survive. And yeah, I was really wrong on that. That guy did not last long at all. So I have a fairy, which is going to be pretty much impossible to hit right on me with a 4-die attack. And yeah. Okay, here I am putting the enchanters, the regrowth on myself, and then moving towards the ward stone. I was thinking I might want to bash the ward stone, try to get rid of it, maybe attack it and hurl a rock, then come back and dispel stuff. Thinking back, that's probably the wrong move. I mean, at this point, I'm trying to dispel stuff. Everything that comes out as a warlord is just a losing proposition. You're spending too many spellbook points, and if you have like a wand, going up against a druid, which is known for carrying dissolves, it's bad. I mean, yes, you can have dispels. You can dispel a lot of stuff. You probably can't afford to have too many. You'll probably have a wand. But against a druid, she'll just dissolve it, and you're up a creek. Okay, so Panzer Guard coming out. Like this guy. This guy did good work. Yeah, I'll just leave that there. I did have the Altar of Domination. This Altar of Domination really helped me in the game. So I believe I spent, 9 for the altar, -3 because of the yard. So 6 mana, waiting 3 turns. So it's pretty much similar to some of the other creatures where you have to wait over time before they get better. I'm thinking the Mud Golem, I'm thinking the Demon, wait around 3 turns. But Taro is better, and you're not losing any life. And when they destroy the altar, or if the altar is being used, you gain that mana for the level back on your construction yard. So in reality, you're spending 7, not including any discounts, if you have a yard, because the 2 mana or 2 levels of the altar goes back on your construction yard as mana. If you use your construction yard mana, as you can see here, I have 3 mana. So it works out. Here would be my first taste of trying to hit the fairies. Yep. 4-die attack, going up against a fairy. Oh yeah, I actually hit him. Right. I forgot that. Probably would have been a good idea to put brace on the fairies, just because, dodge, glancing blow, you have to reveal those, and you already have a defend that's pretty decent. And if you put brace, with the life tree, chances of a fairy being knocked out are pretty slim. And then you can use Mars Blessing and heal them. You're a druid, you're always going to have the most living creatures. Okay, here I'm putting a Arcane Ward on top of my regen. Pretty generic there. Nothing too big. And yeah. so Buzzsaw moving 2 over, thinking he's probably going to come up and attack. He might have bear strength. I mean, a druid with bear strength is pretty good just because the regen and the transfer damage to the tree. So it's a good ability. If you can't tell, I don't actually remember all the different moves that happened during this game. It's been a few days since I've actually played this game, and I've had a few other matches since then, and so I don't actually remember all what happened last couple times, or during this game. I know the results, but I don't remember how we actually got there. Okay, Elven Soldier took damage quite a bit. I'm going to try to save him. He is actually going to end up doing quite a bit later on. At the moment, he's kind of a liability. So, here comes the Vine Token. Really hate those things. Kind of guessing if I should save him or not. At this point, I am going to have I believe, dodge on... Yep. Dodge on the Elven Soldier. That will save him from at least one attack. And what I'm going to do is move him up to the altar and guard. That way only one guy can actually attack him unless Buzzsaw used a spell attack. So. Okay, here comes the enchantment. No, there was no nullify. I believe this is rust. I could be wrong. Okay, 1 damage. Yep. Yep, this is where I move that Elven Soldier up. Just keep him out of harm's way. Nothing too big on this. It might have been a better idea to guard with the Panzer Guard or my Mage, but I wanted to put the Battleforge down and keeping my Panzer Guard for something that doesn't have as many dice, the Druid, which I assume would have 5 dice with bear strength, instead of the 2 and 2 for the Fairy, 2 damage base and 2 for bear strength. So, trying to mitigate as much incoming damage as possible. Buzzsaw going after the garrison post, not a bad idea. I mean, less mana for me, and also Altar of Domination needs 3 outposts active to be able to count down. That always used to irk me because, right, yes, you have to use 3 actions, or 3 outposts out. But in reality, most warlords that actually run barrack have at least 3 outposts out. So, how big of a commitment is it really? Not much. I mean, seems to be fine. Okay, so he said Buzzsaw is attacking the Panzer Guard. I am going to use Defend because, I mean, no one else is going to be attacking him, and I have initiative next round, so why not? Going to have 1 damage go through, or... Oh no, it was Defend, or he dodged it and then counterattacked. Right. Okay, so Grunt. This is mostly because economy. I just wanted something that was cheap, and they left me more mana to deal with other obstacles. I do have the Ballista up and running, so that will come into effect pretty soon. Yep. So... yeah, this is technically a tournament match, so technically we're not supposed to give hints on if the card says you may do an action like you may transfer damage from your mage to the tree for the druid. That means that the rule judges and other spectators cannot technically tell the player that he's doing or not doing a action. If a card says you must do it, then again, you have to do it. And totally fine for the judges or players to mention that. At this point, it doesn't really matter. I mean, this is more of a fun game between myself and Buzzsaw. Neither one of us were taking this game really seriously. Okay, so I had just wasted a rock and a ballista shot trying to knock out one fairy. And those fairies have infinite defend and 50% chance of dodging. If I had hit with one, they would have knocked the guy out. Arguably, I probably would have done it either way. Just because taking out a fairy, I have the creature advantage if I can take one out, especially with all the mana and action he has spent buffing them. It would have been good. So, okay, here I am. On a side note, later we are going to have a lot of problems with my mage and Buzzsaw because I disconnected a lot of times. So sometimes the cards will be attached and will automate, and sometimes they will not. And we'll see that in, I think, a couple minutes. Okay. So, kind of unusual. We have a acid ball on the garrison post. Buzzsaw is getting kind of desperate. So, attacks with 4 dice from the fairy. Does 2 damage. Very unlucky. I moved my elven archer or elven soldier down the guard. So, he's fine there. The altar requires 4 tokens on it before Talos can be summoned. So, if Buzzsaw can't destroy it this turn, it will have at least one more turn to get rid of the garrison post. Saying that, when it gets this close, well, really, there's no way he can actually stop Talos from coming out. Because I have the Panzer Guards, the creature advantage, knocking out the garrison post is going to make no real difference because I can just build another. Knocking out the altar is going to be kind of hard because, again, Panzer Guard can't intercept range attacks, and I have so many creatures that the chances of actually destroying the tower altar is pretty low. And just in case you're wondering, yes, it is burn proof. So, he can't just fireball it. Not that a druid would normally do that, but there's that. Okay, Goblin Alchemist. Like that guy. Good card. Somewhat expensive, I think, but with the status effects. Okay, I like him. He has great utility. Somewhat expensive. I would have liked a little bit cheaper. But when he actually hits and gives the status, he is great. When all those times he attacks and totally whiffs the shot, you kind of regret buying him. So, but overall, always a good investment, especially if you have a mainline unit to take up the damage. Alright, so Buzzsaw is passing. I'm going to be healing my Elven Soldier and then bringing my Grunt up there and guarding. I was expecting Buzzsaw to go after the altar just because the chances of destroying the of myself having another garrison post is pretty high, even if he destroys that one. Saying that, if he did destroy that garrison post and put another conjuration there, I would have had to move to the right one spot and place another garrison post on the far corner. just because I can't place it anywhere else within reach, because of... Well, no, I guess... Yeah, because I have the Tingle Vine in, or the Vine marker in my zone. Okay, Archer coming down, trying to attack the fairy. Yep. And I believe I did... No, that's not a hit because the life tree. Okay. So, guarding with the Elven Archer, totally fine because he has dodge. Saying that, it might have turned out badly if Buzzsaw had a Surging Wave, because Surging Wave would totally negate dodge. It would damage and take off the guard token, so he could have went after, took out the garrison post, or he probably could have taken out the elven soldier. So, missed opportunities all around. Felt kind of bad for Buzzsaw at this point, revealing Desperate Focus, getting the melee, all that, and that all resulted in a dodge. So, yep. Okay, so attack against the grunt. Guarding with the Panzer Guard. I mean, just to prevent anything from going after the garrison post. This I was not expecting. Attacking the Panzer Guard with Flala, I was not expecting that. I was kind of hoping Buzzsaw would attack with the Moonglow Fairy, so I could have the possibility of knocking that out. So, okay. Yep, no damage going through, but he did take off my guard marker, so, yeah, good move. And... Yep, so put a guard marker on the fairy, or on the elven soldier. Main reason for that is I want him to come into the zone with the Altar of Domination, because the Altar of Domination will be coming out next turn, as well as if I have more creatures in that zone, the Goblin Alchemist will be able to hit at least something. He won't have a chance to go away and just run away. Okay, hurling a rock at a garrison post. I was not expecting this. Getting a mana for discarding the garrison post. And then we'll see the, fairy come up, and I believe take out the goblin grunt. Totally fine. They're just there pretty much as extra damage dealers and something to distract people. And, 4 dice to knock out a guy that had 1 health. I think that's a totally fair deal. The grunt only cost me 3 mana, or no. Okay, so this is our first disconnection. And this is the first time I'm not able to actually attack anything. So kind of confused at this, and then I realized that the grunt, yes, he's dead, and for some odd reason he hasn't actually been discarded. So yep, so there goes the grunt. I'm just going to be using the shift click to indicate who I'm attacking with from now on. So there's that. Alright, so press the attack is one of my options. I have a bridge troll as another one. And we're going to get Talos out, get mana for the yard for destroying the altar. And yeah, this is where it starts to shine. I have a Panzer Guard, I have a troll, I have Talos. I have a pretty upgraded, I shouldn't say pretty upgraded, a okayly, it's been one of those days. A decent warlord. I have armor, I have some rings, I have a few enchantments. He's okay. But the troll, the Panzer Guard, and Talos should be able to knock out anything that comes. Saying that, trying to actually hit some of the things that are around has been proving to be a pain. Okay, Pillar. This was unexpected and a very good move. It rolls 6 dice up against Talos because he is a non-living creature. Side note, because most people don't actually remember this, Talos is, he comes into play with his ready marker up, so he actually comes into play ready. So, something most people don't actually realize, and a lot of people seem to be caught off guard by that. So if you look at the Altar of Domination, yes, it takes 4 turns to get him out, but because he comes in ready, it actually really only takes 3. So, anyways, Elven Sharpshooter claims first victory. Unfortunately, that was a range attack, so no veteran token, and I don't think I'm actually able to claim any veteran token in this whole game, which is kind of surprising. Well, I guess not too surprising, since everyone I am attacking tends to be flying, except the mage, but to not be able to get any veteran tokens is very unusual. Yep, and more red text on the side. Never a good sign. Okay, was kind of surprised that anything could actually attach to Talos. Was racking my brain trying to figure out what it was. I think it is rust, but I don't remember. So, spending the action marker, seeing if anything shows with the hidden enchantment, nothing does. So going to attack the fairy, and he's going to evade. Now, why did I do that? It's because I had a lesser teleport in my hand. I assumed that Talos or Buzzsaw is going to push me somehow into the zone with the pillar, either by wave, wind, or force push. He ends up not doing that. Instead, he's just attacking Talos, and yeah. Yep, there's an error disconnection. I think this is what, 3rd time? Something like that. It was bad. Okay. Yep, more damage on Talos. So, I think So this attacking... Yep, and showing that my mage was attacking Buzzsaw's druid. Alright. This might have been a mistake because I still had guys to go or move around. If he had pushed me in now, I could only have lesser teleported either Talos or myself out. So he would have been able to attack something with the pillar, which is something I would like to try to avoid. Okay, healing the elven soldier. Nothing too big there. Okay, lesser teleporting Talos to my mage. Because Panzer Guard, and I mean, it's something from where I am right now, Talos can attack either to the side, the fairies, or up above. He is also, I believe, unstoppable. So Tangle Vine, Vine markers, and none of that will actually stop him. So he's a good guy to have when going up against a mage. Okay, quick cast. Nothing. Okay, here I'm going to be putting a wall of earth. I don't actually remember why I did this. I was thinking he probably had force push, and what I was probably doing was I was putting the experience I had with my druid decks on the buzzsaws, even though his deck is vastly already shown to be vastly different than the way I usually play druid. But I was expecting a force push of some kind into that zone. So, anyways, that's why I put the earth wall there. Going to do a acid attack with the Goblin Alchemist. 3 dice, doing, well, 1 damage, no corrode. Very unfortunate, but there you go. And yeah. Probably should have used Talos to attack the fairy before the fairy Lala was able to move. And yep, I messed that up again. I should have used Talos, but oh well. It is probably worth noting that during some parts of this game, especially during the upkeep, we noticed that sometimes I healed, sometimes I didn't, and sometimes the cards were not attaching to my mage after each of the disconnects. Sometimes they would just be underneath, they wouldn't be attached, and yeah, it was nasty. Okay, so here I have 4 pierce and 3 attack? Yeah, 3 attack. Because of the Hand of Bimshalal. So, good piercing. Wish I could have knocked that out, but I did not. Probably wasn't worth it to actually do that. But, I mean, he wasn't doing anything, so it's all fine, I guess. What I was thinking was, I can get rid of the wardstone, get rid of the tree, because right now he has bark skin on. And that works fine, but it is costly to actually upkeep. And with the tree gone, that means his channeling goes from 10 to 9. With the upkeep from the bearskin, that goes down to 7. His 7 versus my 9, which really is, well, if I do a creature each turn, I have 3 because of the barrack, 4 arguably because of the ring. So I have 13 average, if I do a holy or a enchantment on my creature, there's a discount there. So I'm going between 13 to 14 mana discounts worth of cards versus his right now it would have been 8 with the bear or bark skin on, but could go down to 7 if I knock out the tree. So got a little bit too fixated on taking out the tree. Probably should have focused more on the druid and just powered through the regen, powered through the armor. I had the corrosion, I had the high dice creatures, and now I have my mage in that zone. So good motivation to go and, just pile in. Okay, Hydro Vent, good card. Stun, very, very nice. That worked well for Buzzsaw. There's my Arcane War, which I left behind. This moving in Talus to the right. I couldn't move anymore because, well, I thought he was hindered. This is the part where I totally forgot that he is unstoppable. So I'm pushing the pillar because Buzzsaw did not use it when I entered the zone through the teleport. So at some point we're actually going to have him attack my mage. Yep. And, decent damage. 4 damage on a 4-die attack. I mean, there's no burn, but it's not bad. And getting up to 12 damage in a zone with all the other enemy creatures it can be kind of scary. I have a lot of creatures, but most of them are on the right. They're out of alignment at this point. Arguably, you can put up a wall, kind of barricade my creatures away. But, yeah. Anyways, here comes the troll. The pillar is going to attack him, do a decent amount of damage. I say that. I thought it did more damage. I might have been remembering this game wrong. I thought the troll got a decent amount of damage this turn. Yep, more red wording on the left-hand side. Kind of waiting for the attack to go through. I think at some point we just figured out that both Buzzsaws and my mage could not attack anything because they were, the disconnects did something with them where any attack they had were unconnected to the board. So we had to do manual, and there is 8 damage right off the bat. Perfect roll of 2. Okay, here's my counterattack. So, 6 damage, not bad. He does have 2 armor, or no, 3 armor? Yeah, Desperate Focus and Bear Strength. So, he only takes 3. And, yep, trying to get the regrowth to actually attach. This is during upkeep. Okay. With the Wardstone gone, I was thinking of possibly bringing out the wards or Dispel Wand and dispelling some of the, Desperate Focus, that type of stuff. And I ended up not doing that. Okay. Going to put a... So there's a brace. I ended up putting it totally on my mage. Might not have been the smartest move. I probably should have not revealed that, but okay, whatever. Figured my mage had stun. He would probably get attacked. If nothing else, that makes it less likely people will attack him. I kind of wanted him to heal up. This is a tournament game. I just did not want to deal with that right now. On a side note, I should have paid 1 more mana for that, since I already put a mana on my Warlord, or a 1 mana enchantment on my Warlord. Yep. A lot of mistakes throughout this. So I added 2 mana and took off the enchantment. So. Let's see if I actually correct the mistake this time. Nope. So I still paid 1 less than I should have. So grand total, I should have had 1 less mana. You'll learn a lot when going through a post-game, like review, just watching yourself play. You learn all these different things of what you did wrong, what were you thinking at the time, like, there's mistakes. And, yes, it can be painful, but that's how you learn. I mean, it can be a good thing. Okay, here we have a fairy going after the troll. I believe I do. Yep, brace. So that prevents 2 damage. Putting the troll down to 3 health. Going to bring Talos up. Try to attack the fairy. I believe I totally missed this one. Yep. And then tried to attack the fairy with the ballista. And totally missed that. I wasted so many shots on fairies, just trying to knock him out of the sky. Okay, so Troll has 16 innate life plus 2, so 18. So he has 6 life, 4 armor at this moment. Not impossible to be knocked out, but it would be very, very unlucky for me to get that, or to have that amount of damage hit the troll. Yep, so 3 damage. So now he's at 3 life. And if I remember right, yep, going to move him over, just because, Fluella's right there. Don't want him to get hit more than possible, especially with the pillar in that zone. I had to move out. At this point, with Fluella being the only other creature Buzzsaw has, no point in putting creatures into that zone until the pillar is gone. I mean, there's just makes no difference. Okay, another enchantment on me. We'll see if it actually attaches. It looks like it did. And here's me just going after the vines. Yep. And those are all done. So, attacking Fluella. Probably should have attacked the other fairy. But made a mistake there. Attacking the same fairy with the alchemist. I probably should go back at some point in this, count how many attacks failed because of their defense. Because it was a lot. Alright, attacking the grass. Don't know why I'm really doing this. Attacking the tree itself is kind of pointless because it has lifebound and regen, so it's okay. But the Elfin Grass doesn't actually... it obscures that zone, but it's not... I don't get a penalty on dice when attacking it, nor the tree. So... yeah, pretty much I wasted the Elfin Soldiers the whole turn. Okay, development. More Elfin Soldiers. They're good value for their stats. Quick casts. I'm waiting to see what Buzzsaw has. I do not remember this very well. Okay. Yep, Burst of Thorns. At this point, I was thinking that he probably had a Poison Blood on my Mage. Or, in a way worse, could have been... if he had dissolved my regen, Theft of Life might have been worse because my only other real healing other than the regen would have been the Hand of Bimshaw. So, yep, so just correcting Red Diary that yes, I have 3 armor, but with the rust and the piercing, yeah. So, no armor. Anyways, Buzzsaw got a bleed. That seems to be very unusual for Burst of Thorns. Every time I seem to use that card, I do not. It is a half-decent card, especially if viewed as an attack spell. But you can't upgrade it. You can't use Hawkeye, you can't use Akira's Favor. So all the other benefits with spell, regular spell attacks, kind of worthless. Okay, here I am taking the bleed away with the Hand of Bimshaw. I think that was a mistake. Maybe? Anyways, I'll look through the stats. I'm sure we made a lot of mistakes, especially with the disconnects. A lot of these cards were not attaching, so we couldn't really... we were trying to calculate how much armor, the health, the regen, all that during the upkeep phase. So it got really hectic, and a few times we just... yeah, a few times I just saw, I don't care. It was a really long game. So, good game, but those fairies, I never actually considered them to be valuable creatures. I mean, they're so weak, and they're pest. 2 dice for 8 mana. Sounds terrible. But I wasted so many stinking attacks trying to take just one down. And that's all I was able to do this whole entire game. I took down a fairy. In comparison, I think... I could be wrong, but I think I lost 2, 3 creatures. So... okay. Zone enchantment in the deck. I believe this is a vent, a trap again. Yep, good use of traps. The Hydro vent is nice because you can put the trap down with empty creatures in the zone, unlike the Hellfire trap, which has to have no creatures inside it. I still prefer the Hellfire trap over the vent because the Hellfire trap, fire, which is great, but also it's unavoidable. There is a chance that the Panzer Guard could have avoided the attack. He did not, and he took a lot of crits, and he got daze, but that's not going to usually be the norm. Okay, only 2 damage from the Badger, which is somewhat disappointing because she has 2 piercing. Okay, there's Talos, and it was a taproot. Yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking it was a rust, but so he has 6 attack going down to 3 attack, and then 2, then or 6 going down to 3, then 4, then 5 damage each turn or each turn after. So it's not a bad card, but it's not a bad card when you're winning, because you're paying 3 mana for arguably 6 less dice. No, 4 mana for 6 less dice. If you have the tree ring, it'd be 3 mana for 6 less dice. Is that worth it? Maybe yes, maybe no. But for most occasions, dodge, brace, glancing blow, or just a regular creature would probably get you more bang for your buck as far as mana goes. Okay, so I am all in one zone. This is more, I believe, was it Putinhead mentioned this before? Mage Wars very much encourages people to use the Ball of Death strategy, basically moving guys and piling onto one group, just tearing into one creature at a time. Just go in one after another, and just take one down. If you have your creatures spread out, it is a lot easier for them to be taken out. It's a lot easier. You can't support them. If they're damaged, if they need to run, it's harder to actually keep them alive. Okay, so here, Buzzsaw is trying to attack my mage with, with Searching Wave, and I have the Intercept, and then again, the code seems to be wonking up again. So, since he attacked my mage and it did roll... No, actually, that was a different roll. Never mind. Yeah, so he has to roll 3 die for the Intercept against the Panzer Guard. Okay, so there's the damage. Pretty good 4 damage and a slam, which takes off the guard. So, I don't think you could expect more. That's above average, and you get the slam. So, yeah, good turn. Good turnout. So, 2 damage going through. And that's pretty much it. So, at this point, we're just saying it's game. I have... Well, what do I have? I'm going to pause it here. 17 life left. I have regen versus Buzzsaw's. He has 19. He has regen with the tree bound, but he just does not have the damage potential right now. Talos is, Taproot's going to come off Talos pretty soon. The Troll, he couldn't deal with it right away, and that's going to be starting to regen. And it only is a matter of time before the Fairy is taken down. So, yes, I can see that. And, yeah, good game. It was long. Total, it was like 2.5 hours originally. And cool concept. Didn't really work out. Probably would have worked out much better with the new cards. But, hey, cool idea. And yeah, I think I'm going to leave it here. Guys, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, concerns, all that, you can put it in the post and I might see it.